I was once tasked with watering a friend's plants while he was away with his wife. I visited the plants on a Friday evening around 5 p.m. and noticed that the sun was still shining on the pots, so I decided to wait until the pots were in the shade before watering them. My friend's wife, Tina, was a slim and attractive woman. I thought my friend was lucky to be with her, but I had heard rumors that she had cheated on him with some younger men. Whenever I saw her, she seemed to be flirting with me and making prolonged eye contact that made me feel sexually aroused. Despite being over 50, Tina was still a very sexy woman. I could not stop myself from wondering what was in her lingerie drawer. The thought had been gnawing at me for days and I couldn't shake it off. I guess I had built up an image of Tina being a bit of a cougar. I had heard stories of her wild nights out and her love for all things sensual, but I had never seen any evidence of it. I knew my friend's bedroom was in the loft, so I headed up, my heart pounding with excitement and anticipation. It was not long before I had found a sexy pair of sheer-to-waist pantyhose, a little red sparkly sleeveless cocktail dress, some cute wee sling-back heels with peep toes, and joy of joys, a pretty shoulder-length, dark brown wig. I quickly stripped off the summer shorts and t-shirt I was wearing and slipped the pantyhose up my smooth legs. I felt the silky nylon encase me, hugging my skin and accentuating my curves. The sensation was exhilarating and I couldn't help but feel a rush of excitement. I put on one of Tina's bras and patted it out to give me a more feminine silhouette. I then slipped on the red dress, feeling the soft fabric cling to my body. The dress was a perfect fit and I couldn't help but admire myself in the mirror. I then put on the heels, feeling a sense of transformation as my figure was instantly changed. The heels fixed a different profile to my outline and I could see the difference in my posture and walk. I couldn't believe my luck. I had found the perfect outfit to make me feel like a woman. I had always been curious about women's clothing and now I finally had the chance to experience it for myself. I put on some makeup, carefully applying foundation, blush, and mascara to accentuate my features. I then positioned my hairdo, which I dislike calling a wig, but it is necessary for me to wear one. I styled it in a way that made me feel confident and beautiful. As I looked at myself in the mirror, I couldn't help but feel incredibly pleased with the way I looked. I felt like a whole new person. I then took selfie after selfie, capturing the moment and the way I felt. It was extra thrilling knowing I was wearing Tina's things. I had borrowed some of her clothes and accessories, and I couldn't help but wonder if my friend might prefer how I look in the outfit rather than Tina. That led me to thinking about the possibility of being in a threesome with them, and I don't need to tell you what effect that had on a certain part of my body. So, I felt compelled to pleasure myself accordingly. As always, the dressed-up episode had to come to an end, and after an hour or so, I was putting Tina's items away where I'd found them. I carefully folded her clothes and returned her accessories to their proper place. I then headed down to water the garden. But I was stunned to see that they had just been watered. Tina's brother was also charged with watering the plants while Tina was away, and had stopped by on his way home from work to undertake the task. It still gives me jitters to think about how close I came to getting caught. I remember that day so vividly. I had even left the radio on in the upstairs room while I was getting dressed, which may be why I didn't hear him come in. But it amazes me that he didn't hear music coming from the upper floors and go to investigate. I knew him and we always got on well. I had been in the pub with all of them in the past and Tina's brother was always very friendly towards me. I couldn't help but think that it might have finished well had he caught me.